Good evening and welcome to another episode of Service to Humanity, a program which brings to your screen activities of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development as it carries out its mandate. In our last episode, we took you to Jos, the Plateau State Capital, to bring you the story of end skills training on phone repairs, a new category under the National Social Investment Program. Tonight, we shall take you to Delta and Oyo States to bring you more stories on the same training. In the same vein, we shall bring you stories of beneficiaries of the end skills on phone repairs as they share their testimonies. These and more in this episode of the program. I remain your anchor, Habiba Zokzok. Please stay tuned for the full program after the break.
Is key to helping young Nigerians acquire and develop.
The federal government of Nigeria remains committed to including and protecting persons with disabilities to guarantee that no one is left behind.
I see that we are going through challenging times, and I see this woman running all about the country trying to help our people, because this lady is doing a very good job for our country.
Thank you.
Thank you for all what you have been doing for us.
The Management Diary comes first with news from the Ministry and her agencies. In our lineup, Minister sympathizes with victims of Lagos building collapse, and NAPSIP receives operational equipment from ATIPSIM. Stay tuned for details.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk, has expressed her condolences to the Lagos State Government and the families of the victims of a building collapse in Ebutimeta, Lagos State on Sunday night. According to reports, the affected three-story building was slated for demolition after showing trouble indications, but the tenants remained inside. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, engaged in a joint rescue operation with the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, and the police, and has since evacuated the 23 survivors, while 8 people were said to have perished in the collapsed building. Farouk, who lamented the country's recent string of unavoidable tragedies, urged concerned authorities to work diligently to reduce risk and disasters. She also called on those in charge of overseeing the construction of standard buildings in the country to ensure that the highest standards are met in order to avoid similar tragedies. The Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, has received some operating equipment supplied to the agency by International and Ibero-American Foundation for Administration and Public Policies, FIAP, through Action Against Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants, ATIPSIM. The European Union is funding the ATIPSIM project, which is being implemented by FIAP. The items provided include digital recorders, monitors, cameras, mobile phones, and laptops. While receiving the operating equipment, Azi praised ATIPSIM project management for their continued support and engagement with the agency in the fight against human trafficking in the country. She promised the donor that the operating tools would be used wisely. Earlier, while handing over the items to the NAPTIP Director General, representative of PIAP, Mr. Sani Nantuni, pledged more assistance to the agency.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones.
They should use this money for what it is meant for, graciously to take care of their family.
In 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bound.
And the government is very well because they did work for us.
It's helped me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, disaster management and social development in service to humanity.
Since 2003, when the global system of mobile communication was launched in Nigeria, the market has grown tremendously. It is said that over 150 million Nigerians use mobile phones. Now, if we assume that only 5% of this number need to repair their phones, that will bring in enough business for phone repairers to thrive. It is a growing market that the National Social Investment Program has tapped into, empowering young people with the skills, the tools, and the capital to become entrepreneurs under the N Skills component. In our next segment of the program, we shall take you to Delta and Oyo States to bring you more stories of how the training went in those centers. Please stay tuned.
Without the use of this multimeter, it's as if you are doing trying and let me see whether it go.
Just like in the remaining part of the country, the N Skills training on phone repairs for interested Nigerian youth held in Delta and Oyo States. The training, which took place between 14th March to 23rd April 2022, saw 6,475 youth empowered with the skills required for GSM repairs. The purpose of such training is to give young Nigerians a skill to earn a living and also enable them to employ others in a bid to lift Nigerians out of poverty. The participants were trained on phone repair, which is the main program, entrepreneurship and life skills. One thing to note is the difference between the N Knowledge program and the N Skill program. The N Knowledge program is designed for those who may have secondary certificate, primary school leaving certificate, or some other form of qualification, while the N Skills program is designed for those with no form of qualification at all. National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, Engineer Umar Bindo, explains further.
N Skills is now at the lowest level for people, young people who have energy, but they have never been to school. So these people, you can take them through leather works, they can make shoes, and you are just pumping skills onto them. That does not necessarily mean that they have to read and write and so on and so forth. Also, repairing telephones, these, you can train young people on, take this, fix it there, and do all that. So there are skillful things, but there are things that when you select the beneficiaries very carefully, as you will see, or that you'll see people who are repairing watches, changing the batteries, they may not necessarily go to school. You'll see people who are making ladies' bags, a dire and so on and so forth. They may not have necessarily gone to any. You will see girls who are actually beautifying other girls, putting lipsticks, arranging their eyebrows and so on. They may not have gone to school. So that is the end skills. Pure skills given to young people for their survival. That also again is aligned to the desire of Mr. President. Build skill of young people so that they can employ themselves and employ others.
In Delta State, the turnout was highly commendable as over 245 youth turned out for the training program. Gabriel Okonji, Delta State Coordinator for the N Skills program, speaks on the N Skills training in the states.
It's a skill acquisition program, and the concept here is to empower them, after that. So there will be a starter pack. There will be a starter pack that is going on, that will be given to them. The starter pack would entail all the kits that is needed, so they're not just training them and leaving them bare.
Okonji speaks on the stages and idea of the training.
The unique feature of this program is that the program is in 3 phases. So one is the life skill, which you already took. So the life skill is focused on changing the mindset and changing the idea that this is free for all. This is part of my national cake, as we heard around, that once they give them the starter pack, some of them immediately sell it instead of using it to, to do what they're supposed to do, to use it to empower themselves and, and also train others. But with the life skill training, their mindset is changed. There's orientation. done, then we now have the next phase, which is the training proper for the phone repairs, the mobile phone repairs. After which, we will also undergo another set of training, which is on entrepreneurial skills training. So after you've been taught about life skills and how to train, we also teach you on how to manage your business and how to engage your business, how to go into it. It's a beautiful program. It's laudable. It would help to deal with the issue of youth restiveness, also deal with the issues of unemployment, and also deal with the issue of lack of creativity.
With a training manual made available to each of them, they were taught on the different parts of a mobile phone, their functions, and how to strip and assemble a mobile phone. Trainees were also seen already practicing what they were taught at the training. Christopher Nkaka, a trainer on phone repairs, also speaks on the training.
We make them to see that even if you don't understand English very well, we still make it a way for you to understand it in a layman language. So they are trying, and they are making an effort to know how to repair phones. There are some people that want to be busy with themselves, as in earn a living. The only way to do that, or the only way the federal government have attracted that, making it easier for them, instead of them going out there being nothing. But with this initiative, they will be able to start a living. So the federal government has play a good part on that by initiating this program.
A trainer on life skills, Elizabeth Ferdinand, speaks on the level of commitment by the beneficiaries in Delta State Training Center.
I can rate them 80% to 100 because a lot of them has put in their best and then showed great interest to get this skill.
In IBADAN, the Oyo State Capital, the story is not different. Trainees in their numbers attended and showed interest in the training, and like their counterparts in Delta and other states of the Federation, they were trained on phone repair, entrepreneurship and life skills.
This program is just targeted at bringing people out of penury, empowering them, enlightening them towards having a brighter future. Like, it has impacted knowledge into many. Some graduates would just sit down at home expecting a white-collar job. The government are telling them that they can't meet all the needs of all Nigerians. The government can't satisfy our desires because our human desires are insatiable. So they are just trying to get a means by which they could at least meet some of these needs, if not all. So that is what the program entails.
Ibrahim Tajuddin and Wahab Ganiyu, trainers on entrepreneurship and phone repairs respectively, speak on the training some beneficiaries in Oyo State Center received.
We try to let people know how an average entrepreneur thinks, how they operate, what they do that set them apart from others, and what have you. You know, to be a successful entrepreneur, you need some qualities. Those are the things we try to share with the participants so that when they go out there, they have a very good background to operate very well as a business person.
I introduced them to some phone faults, both the hardware and software aspect, how they can rectify this phone. Also, in case of phone theft, I teach them how a mobile phone can be traced. And like what just happened of recent, when people were talking about parents monitoring their child phone, I take them through the process of how they can do that without even the child knowing what is going on. The parent will be able to tell the location, even have a live video of whatever the child is been doing.
Tajuddin states what is expected of the beneficiaries after the training.
After this training, virtually every one of them should be able to be a better business person and operate wherever they are put in a better way compared to what could have been if they don't go through this training.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones,
They should use this money for what it is meant for, graciously to take care of their family.
in 36 states and the FCT. over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bound.
And the government is very well because they did well for us.
Help me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
Glad to have you back. In our last segment, we saw the efforts put in by trainers of the youth on phone repairs under the N Skills program. In our next segment, we shall hear from some of the beneficiaries as they tell us about the experiences at the training and express their joy for the privilege. Don't go away.
I really appreciate and I pray that God should increase them.
With grateful hearts, beneficiaries of the N Skills training on phone repairs have spoken about the training and skills they have acquired. For some of them, it is a boost to an already harbored idea, while to others, it is a doorway to a new opportunity. Chidima Orumaru, a trainee from Delta, shares how she got enrolled for the training.
I applied online. After some months, so I got a message that I should go and register in Asapa. So they just sent me some tests, and the letter they called me said that they're calling from Abuja. I should go and register and start the program. And the people training on this program, they are serious. They actually they always make sure that they're here on time, and they train us. And my people that I'm here with, they are so serious about it. I think that this is the best training ever.
She appreciates the federal government for organizing such a training program.
I just want to say a very big thank you to the federal government for providing this opportunity for us. In fact, it has helped us. I think for doing this, it has reduced the rate of unemployment in Nigeria, and it has given us some opportunities. At least after this program, we're going to have something, a platform to start on, and to have something doing for ourselves. I'm rating them 100%. Thank you so much.
Otiegbo Beatrice speaks on the skills and knowledge she acquired while at the training.
Have learned how to use the multimeter, that's the speed, and when you are using and I've really learned how to use the soldering iron and the air blower and the meter, that is if your phone falls inside the water, how you can use the air blower to check it. Then the multimeter, you can get the fault inside the phone. And they have told us the multimeter used to count in 3 units, which is the current, the current, the voltage, and the access.
Osakwe Christian, another trainee from Delta State Center, speaks on what he has learned while at the training.
And I've learned a lot in the process. I've learned how to assemble phone, how to disassemble phone, even how to flash phone, and how to service phone. I've learned a lot, and I know that at the end of this program, I don't need to start looking for a job. I'll be self-employed on my own. Just get a place with the tools and the equipment that I've given. I'll just engage to start taking care of myself and making money for myself without depending on the government now.
Christian speaks on his future plans now that he has gained knowledge on phone repairs.
With my skills, first of all, like when I get a place, I'll help the society in servicing their phone and repairing their phone. And also, I also look for people who are also willing to learn, to also teach them so they can learn, than being at home looking for something to do or waiting for the government. They should come and develop a skill.
He then expresses appreciation to the federal government for the opportunity.
First of all, I will say a big thank you to the federal government, most especially to the President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, and our Minister, who is in charge of the Humanitarian Affairs, who's in place of Mrs. Sadu.
Farouk. I want to say a big thank you to them, and also want to encourage them on this to keep on bringing on a love program that will help to develop the youth, to help the youth to be skillful also.
Chidi John, a person living with disability, was not left out in taking advantage of the training. He speaks on his plans for the future and thanks the federal government for the training.
After this program, I will get a place. After getting a place, I will employ people to work under me as a CEO of the company. And I so much thank the federal government for organizing this program for people like us.
It's really going to help us in our various community. Like when you talk of phone repair, you are not only doing it, we are not only here to learn to repair for ourselves, but for our neighbors, our friends, and even our community at large. When you're repairing phone for your area, for your community, you know, one way or the other, you've helped your environment, you know, improving. If it's something that some of us might not going to take, maybe if you are to take money, you won't take as much as other people take because of probably the way you got the training. You've been assisted to get this training, and when you want to give it out again, it's not necessarily. Myself, I can even repair people's phone free of charge because I got this training free of charge. So it's a good one. With that, I've imparted to so many people around me.
Trainees in IBADAN Center expressed excitement and appreciation to the federal government for the training and the skill they have acquired. Jumoke Akinyemi, a trainee from IBADAN Center, lauded the idea, describing it as timely.
The knowledge being imparted to us is something that we need in this current economy, because these skills will help me to be a better person in the country. It will benefit a lot of people because we're taught on topics like life skills, how to be a good entrepreneur, and most importantly, the phone repair. It's a good skill for me.
Ayodele Sunday is another trainee who has proven his disability is not a limitation. He speaks on the skill he has acquired.
I have learned about the theoretical aspect of repairing of a smartphone. That's what we've been taught. And then secondly, we are taught about the skill acquisition enterprise, and then how you can manage your business and other things like that. As also as to be able to, after this training, as to be able to settle down and start to own one's own business.
Ayodele Sunday solicits with the federal government to continue with more of such innovations.
My own words of encouragement is that I'm being impressed because I'm able to get some knowledge that I've not been able to know since I've been using phone, especially the smartphone. I've been able to get many knowledge pertaining to how to handle it, manage it, and this. And then the organizer, I'm just imploring them that they should continue to do it, mostly for those youths and those elderly ones, that that one will serve as a means of income for them, instead of them roaming about. Mostly the youths that are jobless, that are being used by all these hoodlums and this and that. So by having such training, they will be able to be self-independent and be having something to occupy them in their livelihood.
What the ministry is doing through the National Social Investment Program is quite commendable and can be supported by other stakeholders. Project Better Nigeria is one we can all support by encouraging other young people to take advantage of government initiatives. On that note, we draw the curtains of this week's episode of Service to Humanity. Feel free to send in questions and suggestions to any of our social media platforms or drop a message on the ministry's page on Facebook or Twitter. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe.